the wings of love, only the two of us together flying high. You ain't CJ Gardner-Johnson. Don't worry about it. I am doing whatever I gotta do to bring him back to Philly.
Dallas still stinks.
Yo, by the way, King Dingbat here. Hope everybody's having a great day. Hope you guys are doing well. Hope you're hanging in there. You know, I gotta tell you this. The Eagles might have signed only one player in free agency from another team so far, but I feel like we have won the whole thing. I feel like the Eagles and Howie Roseman and Howie Vision have absolutely killed this free agency. Nobody thought the Eagles were going to be able to retain the amount of top-level talent that they had. And if CJ Gardner-Johnson comes back to Philly, and I believe he will, but if and when he does, it is going to be clinched, done. The Eagles, they did it. They accomplished great things during this free agency. We got a lot to look forward to in the draft. Now, we're going to get into it and all of it in a second because there's a lot to talk about. But before we do that, if you're new to the channel and you like the content, make sure you hit that like button. More importantly, make sure you subscribe to the most censored, most throttled, pause, Eagles content creator in all of the internet. And if you've been subscribed for a while and you've been with me for a while, I just want to thank you for all the support you give to me. It truly means a lot to me. I am humbled by it, and I thank you guys so very much. This has been one crazy offseason already. I mean, we're like 2 days into free agency, a couple days with the tampering, but it's just amazing to me because I don't remember very many free agencies where I literally don't care who's on the other teams you know what I mean? What other free agents are out there from other teams? I'm worried about who's on my team, what my players, who there is, who there may be, and who there's still yet to come. And I tell you what, having a team as talented as the Eagles did last year, and to see us get a lot of these guys back. We didn't get everybody back. We didn't get Kaiser White, TJ Edwards. We lost Javon Hargrave. We lost Miles Sanders. Yeah, we had some losses. But to get James Bradbury back, to get Slay happy, and then to be on the verge of CJ Gardner-Johnson is truly a big deal, in my opinion. Now, how can I say this? To me, everything kind of is at a standstill right now. It's all paused, and there's nowhere to go until we figure out what's going on with CJ Gardner-Johnson. We need him back. We need him back. And today, we've all just been kind of waiting. We wanted to see what was going to happen with the whole Darius Slay staying in Philly. Now, Darius Slay is staying in Philly. I'm sure that they're going to do a restructure, an extension, something, and it's going to free up cap space, which obviously will help us with CJ Gardner-Johnson. But the question we got to ask ourselves, the question we have to wonder right now is, what is going on with CJ Gardner-Johnson? Why hasn't he signed yet? He is one of the top free agents, and you've really had the first wave of free agency go off, and he's still on the board. The only thing I can think of is that he is not getting the offers or the money or the amount of money that he was hoping for, or that what he's looking for. And this is kind of backed up by the fact that earlier today, CJ Gardner-Johnson posted this tweet: "The disrespect real. The disrespect real. The disrespect real. It is so disrespectful that they threw out the is. All right? The disrespectful is real. So disrespectful, throw out the is." Okay? Now, he tweeted this earlier today, and then he deleted it. One of the things with CJ Gardner-Johnson I've noticed is he tweets a lot of things, and then he takes it down. He takes it down. So, CJ Gardner-Johnson is obviously, and I assume that he's talking about the disrespect is real in terms of how teams value him. Now, I don't think this is a specific jab at one team like the Eagles or somebody else. I think this is probably what the market is showing him. And I understand why that would bother him. However, I think this could really work to the Eagles' advantage because let's say, and I should say this too before we go any further. But we heard that the Bengals were into him. The Bengals were into him, but they're kind of out from what we're hearing now, and it looks like the Broncos and the Eagles are the two finalists. The Broncos are making a push, Sean Payton, and it's down between those two teams. Eagles news, and this was from Bleeding Green Nation. CJ Gardner-Johnson drawing interest from the Broncos. And it sounds like it's the Broncos and the Eagles, and we're going to see who ends up with him. Now, Sean Payton coached him before. Sean Payton knows how good he is. He even spoke about how surprised he was when the Eagles got CJ Gardner-Johnson from the Saints when they traded him. So it looks like that's our competition right now, the Denver Broncos. And like I was saying before, I always get tweeted when I'm doing a video. What's up with that? The disrespect real. Disrespect real, man. Disrespect real. They always text me when I'm filming. But the fact, as I was saying, the fact that he's getting frustrated, the fact that he's posting that, may be the opportunity the Eagles need to finish this thing and to get this thing done. Because one thing that players will do oftentimes if they feel that they're not getting paid what they should and the market isn't giving them what they want, they do what is called a prove-it deal. They'll go in, they'll sign for 1 year, and then they'll play to the best of their ability, proving to teams they deserve a bigger contract. A lot of people said that's what James Bradbury was doing last year with the Eagles when he was out there on the field. He was going out there and he was trying to show that he's still one of the top corners. Well, I think one of the problems that CJ Gardner-Johnson could be running into is the fact that he's only played safety for 1 year. So teams are saying, well, is it just a good year? Did he have a good team around him? Great pass rush? Is he really worth it? Or do we need to see more? If that's the case, and he decides, well, the hell with this, I'm not getting what I want, he may go ahead and say, you know what, I'll play on a 1 year deal. And that's how the Eagles could end up signing him. It would not surprise me to see the Eagles sign CJ Gardner-Johnson to a 1 year deal. Why not go back to Philly where you play and you're used to playing, but you also have guys like Bradbury, Darius to play around you. What a great way to go out and prove how much you're worth on an open market. Now, I prefer that CJ Gardner-Johnson is signed long-term by the Philadelphia Eagles. But this could be something that he decides to do if he doesn't feel like he's getting his market share. To me, CJ Gardner-Johnson is very valuable. I personally wouldn't need to see him in another year or 2 more years to know how much he's worth as a safety. I see value in him as a defensive back because this is a guy that can also play slot corner. When Avonte Maddox was out, that's what he did. A guy, to me, when you get a player, and sometimes this can actually hurt a player, and teams look down on this, but to me, when you have a player that is versatile and that can play multiple positions, you can't find that a lot. It's very valuable. But what teams do is they try to manipulate this, right? So they could say, and I'm just using this as an example, you see this all the time when you get like a receiving tight end, right? You'll get a wide receiver tight end a guy who goes out, catches 90, 100 balls. He wants to be considered a wide receiver because wide receivers get paid more than tight ends. And teams want to pay him as a tight end, which is really undervalued for what he does. Like a Kelsey or somebody like that, right? Just as an example. You see it where you get these wide receivers who are tight end wide receiver / and they try to keep them as one position because it's cheaper. They could be saying to CJ Gardner-Johnson, let's say Broncos, for example, I'm just throwing this out there. They could be saying in a situation like, hey, you know what? Sean Payton was saying, yeah, you'll play safety in Denver, but we really see you as a slot corner. We want to pay you as a nickel cornerback, not as a safety. I'm just throwing that out there. But because otherwise, I really don't know why you would sit there and not pay this man what he's worth. They want to see multiple years. then that's fine. If I'm the Philadelphia Eagles, I jump all over this and I get it signed. CJ Gardner-Johnson is obviously frustrated the fact that he isn't gotten the money he wants. A guy like Jesse Bates got. You saw Poyer sign yesterday. So what's going to happen? I think ultimately, I think the way this thing is going to end up and the way this thing is going to be, I think CJ Gardner-Johnson's coming back to Philly. I hope it's on a multi-year deal, not a one-year deal. But at the very least, if we have to just get him back with a one-year deal, I'll take what I can get. I just want CJ Gardner-Johnson back. You get him back, as far as I'm concerned, you won free agency, man. You won it because the Eagles are pretty much already stocked, you know. And speaking of free agency and players, Rashad Penny met with the press today, right? He signed his contract with the Eagles. And Josh Tolentino posted this. I thought it was interesting. He said, Rashad Penny said that Jalen Hurts reached out to him soon after he signed with the Eagles. Penny recalled Hurts' message to him. He's ready to win the Super Bowl. I'm with him, and I know the whole team is with him too. So there you go. Another example of Jalen Hurts being a true team leader, being the guy. And I love the fact that Jalen Hurts is going to get a contract extension too very soon. But first thing first, let's get our boy CJ Gardner-Johnson signed and back in. I should be back later on with another video. Look for that. Of course, we will be streaming once again tomorrow. So take care. Talk to you later. Of course, don't be a dingbat. Remember, it's how we vision. We're all just living in it. So it's very well known that the Colts love the Eagles' leftovers. They take our coaches, they take our quarterbacks, they take everything off of our roster. Well, guess what? Right after I finished filming this video, we had a little bit more of taking Eagles' leftovers. Ian Rappaport's reporting the Pound Colts are giving quarterback Gardner-Minshew 3.5 fully guaranteed on a one-year deal that can be worth up to $5.5 million, source said. There are low thresholds on the very reachable incentives. Why? Because Gardner-Minshew stinks. Denzel Washington out.